99 computers walk into a bar. Everybody who's been here before knows I got to tell a joke to start with. Unfortunately, my children are getting older, so this one's actually mine, so it's not going to be as good. Bartender says, we don't serve computers in here. Computers say, why? He said, because you guys megabyte. Yeah, didn't go over that well, did it? This is the best I could come up with. Actually, I got to be honest with you, I stole that one. I just came away from a conference, Gartner's IT Symposium in Orlando, and I happened to spend a day at the Hollywood studios where they do the improv in the hallways, and they actually did that one, so I kind of stole that one from them. So my apologies on that. Welcome to Excalibur. Actually, 2 weeks ago, I hosted a conference in Carlsbad, California, 200 top technologists within our corporation. So what we're going to do today is we're going to change the agenda up a little bit, and I'm going to start with the fundamentals of SOA and the reason that you need them and why and how it's going to change your organization. Now that got more laughs than the megabyte joke. So I want to start today by covering a couple of items. And first off, welcome you all to Excalibur again. This is the 6th annual Excalibur event. For those of you who've been involved with it before, I certainly appreciate you coming back. For those of you who've been involved with it before, this will be the 3rd year that you've seen me up here, and I promise you next year I will not be on stage. Okay, I can make that commitment, and if that doesn't get a round of applause, I don't know what will. So there we go. I knew I'd get a couple of laughs in the audience for those of you who've been here a few times. You know, talk a little bit about Excalibur and its 6 years, and I want you all who, even if you haven't been here for 6 years, to think back around 6 years. You know, remember when we carried paper on stage to remember our notes and we looked really uncool? Okay? I just facilitated 4 days worth of conference with senior architects across our company, and I was able to carry that on stage the entire time so I didn't forget a single thing, and somehow it was the greatest thing in the world. I was also at the Gartner IT Symposium with 8,000 attendees, probably one of the largest IT forums in the United States over the past few days in Disney. And having been there for probably the past 10 or 11 years, you know you've been there too long when you marvel more at their ability to shuttle 8,000 people around than you do the technology that you see on the floor. But if you think about technology, you think about what's happened in just the past 6 years alone, and you think about the background and the premise which Excalibur is built upon, which is how that technology is changing businesses. Excalibur is not based on the fact of establishing or someone coming up with some great new technology. It's not an innovation session. It's more based on the fact of how, in a multitude of categories, that companies are utilizing technology and services from a lot of you all to change their businesses. And I want you to think about that last 6 years. I actually was rummaging through the basement the other day and was able to actually show my daughter the first generation not iPad, the first generation, not iPhone. What was that first one called? iPod, yeah. See, I don't even remember that. So that was another part of the joke there. And it was actually white. It had buttons you had to press, and it actually had a black and white screen with no pictures. Now, can you imagine this conversation that I'm having with my daughter, who has now an iPhone with a pink case, and she's constantly in touch with everything? Think about the changes in technology just over the past few years and the impact that it's having on your organizations. Our organization is 32,000 employees, and we're getting ready in the next week to adopt pretty much any device that wants to connect to our email environments will allow it to happen. We've given up on we're trying to secure that. We've given up on the resistance. And I'll give you an example why. The iPad has been out less than what, 6 or 7 months, 8 months total? In that time frame, we've had more between 1,200 and 1,300 users connect their iPads to our Exchange environment to facilitate their daily lives. So if there's one thing you can come away with in the 6 years that we've had this event, and the key word that comes to mind for me is really just the velocity of it, when you think about the amount of change that we've been going through. So as you think about the awards this morning, and you think about the premise and the foundation of the awards, you think about the things that were put into it and what it takes to actually move companies forward. A lot of companies have moved away from resistance, and they're moving to adapting and trying to engage with their business and simply roll with them as they happen. If you have any of your companies that are trying to cut the edge of technology, and we'll see some of that this morning from a keynote speaker here, you're going to be amazed at some of the things that have happened in the past 6 years. In fact, you'll probably have difficulty comparing it to some of the things that you saw in the past 6 months, much less in the past 6 years. So, again, the foundation for Excalibur is to recognize how that technology is changing the businesses that you all work with, specifically within the Georgia environment. So, with that, I'm going to roll our standard operational video for Excalibur. So, as you watch that video, you recognize the premise of how Excalibur was created, but I think our ability to keep up with the velocity of change is just incomprehensible. I mean, it's just a difficult thing to deal with within the organizations and within your businesses. I know as a leader in our CTO office and our product release, we have 92 products we release into the market. Everything today is no longer about how many months or years it can take you to release something, but people now force things to happen within weeks. And so I think as you look at some of the challenges that are out there, it's very important to recognize that this serves as a recognition of a number of companies that are trying to utilize that technology to accelerate their businesses. So, okay, I'm going to try this one more time. 99 computers walk into a bar. Bartender says, "We don't serve computers in here any longer." And they said, "Why not? It was such a hard drive." So that one I knew was a little bit better. I saved that one. You just wait till the finale, right? So, first off, this event would not be possible, obviously, without all of you from a sponsorship perspective. And I just want to take one moment to recognize a number of the sponsors here. I think your contributions to this event make it happen and allow us to recognize the businesses within Georgia. This year, we want to recognize Capgemini as a gold sponsor. We have Verizon as a silver sponsor, Pyramid Consulting at silver, Cisco, Primus Software, JBM Consulting, and Global Payments at the silver level. And I obviously want to thank all of the bronze sponsors and all of the table sponsors. So this event would obviously not be possible without all of you. So I just want to give you a round of applause and thank you.